Hello, this is Manish Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is April 9th, 2012. This is our weekly analysis for the futures markets, where we cover everything from commodity futures to metals to natural gas to gasoline and so forth. This is for education use only. All charts you're going to see are from Thinkorswim, from TD Ameritrade, TradeStation, and FreeStockCharts.com from Warren Brothers. Here are my contact details here, and Patel at eiicapital.com. You could access any of our free resources here at ichimokutrade.com, where we have Twitter and everything else out there. Okay, so let's go straight. Remember, the left-hand side is basically a daily time frame. Right-hand side is basically the weekly time frame. Let's start scrolling through all the futures right now. As you probably see from the U.S. markets and everything globally, we're entering pullbacks finally. Cocoa futures are still doing good. They're still trending bearish to the downside, which is really good. However, it's starting to get the momentum starting to become really weak, to a point where if this thing doesn't sit there and break below 2,000, it's going to have a very hard time, and they'll probably declare a double bottom here very soon, and then have a potential of going back up. If it breaks below 23.75, then the double bottom is confirmed, and it still will enter a consolidation pattern and maybe start going up to set up for a bullish trend. Light sweet crude oil, as you can see, it's a bullish trend here. We are basically at a major pullback right now. We're at a major support level right now, where we got to hold. If it doesn't hold here, then if it keeps on breaking down, then this trend's going to be pretty much going to be over. But it's got to hold here, and I think it will here. But it's interesting to see exactly what's going to do moving forward. But it's going to need to do a pullback upwards in order to determine exactly what's going to happen. And when that pullback happens, it's got to sit there and hold 105. If it doesn't and keeps on going higher, then it does have potential to start trending again. Cotton, there's nothing really going on, as you can see, just sitting there going sideways. It is still bearish trending as far as the weekly is concerned, but it's now consolidating at the bottom, where it's taking momentum away from the bears and putting it into the hands of the bulls. So this thing may enter a big consolidation pattern for a long time, possibly about 6 months if it doesn't be careful moving forward. US dollar, really nothing going on at all. Its sentiment is bullish. However, we're in a consolidation pattern right now. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens, but it's got to break above 80.94 in order to go higher, and support's basically going to be around 79.44. Okay. We'll come back to gold. Feeder cattle, as you could see here, finally entering a pullback on the weekly time frame right now. It's well deserved. The pullback hold level will hopefully go down to about 139.85 and hold there. And you could see here setting up on the daily time frame to go bearish, which would be really good. I think it probably needs 1 or 2 more days of a pullback. If it does do that, then we do have a potential breaking out to the downside and going all the way down to about 139.85 at least moving forward. Lean hogs. Lean hogs is starting to set up for a bearish trade, both the daily and weekly. It's got to break below 82.50. If it does, this thing's going to start tanking really heavily. So I'll definitely keep an eye on lean hogs to move forward on going with that one. Copper is just sitting there going sideways right now. Nothing really going on as far as trends are concerned. It's just consolidating and it's trying to get to the bottom of a range. That's about it right now. Heating oil, if you look at heating oil, not really doing anything at all. Tried to break out here, still hasn't. Still holding its ground as far as support is concerned, but it really needs to start making a move to go up. It needs to go above 3.2137. If it does that, then it has a potential of resuming its trend to the upside, but it doesn't look like it right now. It looks like a consolidation pattern, step up, and now it's kind of coming back to that consolidation pattern. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, but support level is going to be basically 3.0468. Coffee, this has been a great one, still continuing its journey downwards here. It did a pullback level to about 189, stopped there, and it's now continuing its trend downwards. So this has been a great trade that we've loved and we got into a long time ago. It's continuing its journey to move downwards, and it's very strong still, believe it or not. Lumber, Nothing really going on in lumber right now. It's trying to sit there and change sentiments to the bullish side, but hasn't done so successfully yet, and it probably won't be successful unless it starts moving hugely to the upside. Live cattle, you can see the huge movement down. Nothing really going on here. Just pretty much a big gap down here. This is a major pullback finally on the weekly time frame, which is well deserved. That was live cattle. Now let's move on. Natural gas, which everyone's looking at. A lot of people said this couldn't go lower below 3. Guess what? It's still going lower, lower, lower. Does have a potential to even keep on going lower, even back to par at 2. Sorry, not par, but even number of 2. So it's going to be interesting to see, but this thing's still got momentum to keep on going lower. So just keep a lookout for this thing going down. Frozen concentrated orange juice, if you look at it the weekly time frame, this looks very, very ugly. If you look here, it's just pretty much sitting there retesting this low of the range right now, but this basically is a bearish trend here to go lower, and you could see it worked out really well here. So orange juice is tanking along with a lot of the other commodities, but this is very heavily. It's getting down to the bottom of its range right now. Plutanium really not doing anything right now. Looks like a bearish trend here, but it's at a major support level at 625. If it breaks 625, then it has a potential going to 600. Its key thing is this thing's got to break 600. If it does, then it does have a potential going lower, but if it doesn't, it's not going to. The momentum right now is neutral and doesn't look like it's going to be bearish or bullish for a long time. It needs probably about 3 or 4 months of consolidation before it could decide what it wants to do. Platinum. If you look at platinum, really nothing going on at all. It's just consolidating, so there's nothing there at all to look at. So we're just going to ignore it and go on. We went for natural gas, crude oil. Let's go for gasoline. Gasoline, if you look here, remember we've been talking about 340 is going to have a hard time trying to break. It did have a hard time trying to break 340. And looks like it may form a double top, but you really can't say it's a double top until it breaks 3.2005. It's got to break below there, and then it's got to break below 2.9379 in order for this to confirm a double top. This could be just a healthy pullback, believe it or not, all the way down to 3.20. And once you get to 3.20, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens right around that price and see if it bounces off that. It's going to be a true test. Sugar. Really nothing going on in sugar right here on the weekly time frame. It is still bearish, but as it consolidates, it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. This thing really needs to break below 23 very, very fast. If it doesn't, it's going to consolidate for a long time. I'm going to come back to silver. Here's gold. Nothing wrong, nothing going on with gold. It just bounced off basically 1616, which is a major support. It's really got to get above 1700 to even start a bullish trend again. But it looks like it's going to consolidate for a little while longer before it can sit there and start making a move up. But it definitely needs to happen before July, June, in order for this thing to have a trend to the upside. Silver, pretty much going to be like gold, except it's a little more bearish here, as you could see. It could sit there and start breaking down. If it does, I think it will get down to 26 again, but chances of it breaking 26 are going to probably be slim unless it's a huge push downwards, which we haven't seen a while for silver until this week here. But it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens. But right now, this thing's just consolidating, a little more tilted toward the bearish side, so definitely look out for that. 30-year Treasury bonds, nothing really going on. Bullish trending here, pull back to the cloud, pull back up. Now it's at a major resistance level at 140,260. That's key resistance level to see exactly what's going to happen there. But this is still consolidating here to my mind, because this is a big consolidation range right here, from right there to about right there, and we're pretty much bounced up the middle of the consolidation pattern and pretty much got to the middle. Sorry, bounced up the bottom and went to the middle right now. Corn's really doing nothing except consolidating back and forth, so nothing really to talk about there. 5-year U.S. Treasury notes, really nothing going on talking about there. It's just consolidating momentum and is weak, and it's just telling us it's consolidating. Soybean oil, as you could see, the sentiment is bullish here. It needs a pullback right now. It'll probably get to about 57.12, which it already did. Bounce off that. Needs to pull back right now to about this level right here at 54.39. If it could sit there and pull back to 54.39 and at that point hold its ground and make a move back up, a break to break 57, then we got a trend possibly for a long term moving forward. Soybean meal futures, you could see here, came here, just huge movement up here. Pretty much have gone to this pivot high here, kind of hanging around here. This definitely needs to pull back too. The perfect pullback level would be bound to about 358. If we could get to that level and pull back, and then it holds its ground there and then starts making a move back up. Oats, really nothing going on. Bullish trend look like here, but nothing really going on. You could see from the weekly it's just consolidating, so nothing there. Soybean futures, pretty much same thing as soybean meal, pretty much gone huge movement up, really nothing going on as far as this is concerned, and that's it moving forward. 2-year treasury notes, as you can see from the treasury notes, nothing really going on as far as daily is concerned. The weekly, we are at a major resistance level right now. It looks like it could sit there and just do anything, because this thing looks like it's going to consolidate for a long time, just like all the other bonds and notes out there. And then wheat, this looks ugly too, so there's nothing really going on right now. So if you look at the futures market, there's no trends really out there. The only things that are really trending are coffee, as you saw, and then a potential, or maybe of, I think it was lean hogs breaking down here to the low side. But there's nothing really going on right now, so as far as the futures markets are concerned. So the goal right now is to be patient, otherwise the markets are going to take your money. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Speak to you next week, and we'll go from there.